What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. For those of you that are always stuck on my mic, I can't lift this one. I got a brand new one. So hopefully things are going to be better as far as me not annoying you with the microphone. Let's get to today's video. I've actually done this video, or at least I've actually spoke on this topic several times. But it seems like I have to. It's not that I have to, but I saw something the other day. I saw shots fired. No lie, right? And I guess there's something going on between a couple channels. It's not my business. I'm not taking sides. But when I see two platforms like this, and one with a lot of influence, a lot of followers, and when I hear their point of view when it comes to Raza using the N-word, Mexicans using the N-word, to me, anyone using the N-word that is not black. But we're going to talk about all that. When I heard it, and then I heard it was a combination of things. I saw that, in my comments, somebody saw one of the older videos where a vato from Compton in New Folsom got hit. And the real reason why he got hit was because he was using the N-word. And that vato in the comments said, well, of course he was using the N-word. He's from Compton. That's a fail. That right there is a failure in thinking. And we're going to talk about this. My point of view, remember, all I can do is speak from my life experiences and my point of view. Anyone with a differing point of view doesn't mean they're wrong. It means they have a different point of view. And if you believe that point of view is correct, then you will gravitate towards that person, that way of thinking, that platform, etc. Now, let's make it clear. Those that know already know and point it out. I am not from Los. I did not grow up in an area that had a lot of blacks. The blacks that were in my city were on the east side, not on the west side. I did have two black homies from my neighborhood. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to Paul. How you guys doing? Now, I have been doing time, or I started doing time well over 30 years ago with vatos from LA, vatos from Watts, Compton, South Central. Never heard them say that word, ever. So when I saw this thing, and somebody was saying, one person was saying, it's stealing their culture by when Raza used the N-word. And then the other guy's point of view was it is not stealing their culture when they are a part of the culture. They grew up in that. That's how they grew up and where they grew up. And to me, personally, that is not an explanation. That is a justification. And I'm going to get into why that is. The 60s, the 70s, the 80s, in Compton, in Watts, in South Central, Inglewood, all these areas, the Raza were overwhelmingly outnumbered by blacks. Overwhelmingly. But they didn't use the word then. How is it now that the Raza is like 50-50 in certain areas, or even the majority in certain areas, that now they choose to use that word? So to say, no, that's part of their culture, that's who they grew up with. No, when they grew up when it was predominantly black, they kept their estilo, Raza estilo. Now, I want to also point out that I have done time with black men, many black men who did not believe that blacks should use that word. They didn't want black people, their own people, using that word. They did not believe in it's taking the sting out of the word. It's taking no. When you know the history of the word, there's no taking it back. There's no making it something endearing. You know, me personally, I've been around people that use that word, raza, that use that word. It's just not for me. It's not how I was raised. I am not trying to fit in. You know, it's a trip because when I see the people that do use it, even when I play PlayStation, right? It's always that white kid or that Mexican kid, and he gets killed and play on Call of Duty, and he starts calling everybody the N, this and that, and you know, it reminds me of, you know how like when a dude, you know, shout out, I don't know, but you know, like a dude that's gay, he acts more feminine than a woman. Or a dude that's from an opposite, like he's from a barrio, but he's white or black, and he uses the word vato or ese more than a Mexican does. It's the same thing with these whites and these Mexicans that want to use that word. They use it every other fucking word. They sag. The whole raza estilo's gone. It is not because of who they grew up around. That argument goes out the window when you factor in the ratio of blacks to Mexicans in the decades prior to them adopting this word and stealing this word and applying it to their vernacular. It never was part of the vernacular. What happened was the OGs went to prison. The youngsters were on their own, running amok. And they gravitated to a different stilo. That's what it is. Do I knock them? No. Do I like it? No. Do the majority of blacks like it? Absolutely not. You can see it in my comment section a lot of times. They'll say like, hey, what's up with these Mexicans using the N-word? Nobody wants to hear that word, period. You damn sure ain't going to be going to a job interview looking very successful or hireable or impress anybody when that's your stilo. And I know people are going to be like, come on, nobody's going to go in there and do it. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how some of these youngsters are going to go into these job interviews. We are trying to advance as a community, as two communities. We got to better ourselves, eh? Serio. Nobody wants to hear that word. It absolutely is stolen from another culture. I grew up, I was born before hip hop and rap came out. By a few years, not a lot. But I grew up with that, with hip hop. So when people say it's hip hop that did it, I don't know what it is, man. I call it like the hip hop culture. You know, it has made a huge impact. But I think Raza need to understand that, you know, if you're going to be in the street life, if you're going to be in the criminal life, you're going to be criming it, slinging, whatever you're doing, you're not going to go to the joint and throw that word around. All it would take is one of those black men that doesn't even like hearing his own people say it to overhear you and get off. Everyone will have to fucking follow suit. All the raza, all the blacks. And when that first encounter is done, if you lived through it, if the guy didn't whack you, he just fired on you, or he didn't hit you good enough to kill you, guess what happens? The legends want to know. The fuck was that over? Oh boy over there decided he want to use the N-word. What do you mean? He called a black dude the N-word? No, he was using it like he was cool. Oh, no. He got to go. He definitely has to go because he fucked the business up. He fucked the money off. He got people hurt. Somebody might get killed because this vato wants to use a word that's not even part of his culture. He's trying to be cool and fit in. Let me guess. Is he one of them guys that has a funny haircut, tattoos all over his face, and sagging? I ain't right for that. But seriously, if you're criming it, slinging dope, whatever it is, if you are committing crime, if you are part of the criminal world, and then you know prison is part of your program. You're going to go to jail. And you know that you're not going to be able to talk like that in there. Then why wouldn't you, who's this? I don't know who that is. Why wouldn't you make it a point to not have that in your vernacular while you're out here? To not have to be fake. One or the other's fake. Either you're putting on a show out here using those words and dressing that way, or when you get in there, you're putting on a show. Only you know. I remember being in, no, I don't want to. Yeah, okay. So there was a certain barrio in East LA. And there was a vato from that neighborhood in our compa. And other vatos from East Los, shout out to East Los, used to roast him. Hey, homie, so your barrio's not Crips no more? So your homeboy so-and-so doesn't have a Jerry Curl no more? So vatos that act like a certain way out here, your rivals out here on the streets will remember you when you get to the joint. So be you, no matter what. Be you. If talking that way is you, be you. And be that in there. Be that guy. Don't change up. But understand you are a walking liability. There's going to be people from within your own crew who are going to hear that and be like, the fuck is that all about? You're going to have the blacks on the yard. They hear that shit. Again, you don't know what may happen. But I just wanted to put this out there and just give my point of view. I do not believe the whole, or they grew up like that, that's why they talk like that. When I done time with vatos that were my age and older than me from Watts, Compton, Inglewood, South Central, none of them used that word at all. You can go back to the story that I talked about. One dude was from Compton, one dude was from Culver City. They were road dogs. I wonder why they were road dogs. They were the only two dudes that used that word. And within 6 months of me getting there, I don't know how long they were there before I got there. I don't think much longer. But within 6 months, I saw them both get whacked. And there was a whole story made up of why they really got hit, and it had to do with dope. But I was there when the vato said he was watching them, and he said, that motherfucker's through. He looked at me, and I was like, all right, wasn't my business. They got hit because they used that word. Only two dudes I met, and they were both older than me. And I knew a lot of dudes from Compton, a lot of dudes from Culver City. Never heard that. Never. So, again, my 2 cents, I don't agree with the whole theory that because they grow up in an area, that's why they use that word and dress the way they dress and, talk the way they talk. When for decades prior to this era or that era, appropriating that word or misappropriating that word, maybe Raza were completely outnumbered. And you would think that would be the time where that was when it was like, fuck, it was predominantly black. They grew up talking the way people in the area spoke. No, they didn't. They actually took more pride in representing their culture. Now, I understand the way everything has been commercialized. People don't understand. People are, certain companies are making millions off of these words and this style of dressing being commercialized and embraced. That's not a bad thing when cultures embrace other cultures. But that word has a history of violence and death behind it. I personally don't think that word should be used. I've never used it. Never would. There's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart. Tell the ones you love that you love them. Also, My bad. I went live last night. Thank you to everyone that was in the live. I had over 300 people in the live. There was a lot of engagement, and I was extremely blessed. I always tell you guys it's humbling to be blessed like that. And, here I go rambling, but this is important to me. I saw a comment this morning. Somebody said that they're kicking right now. They're going through withdrawal. And he thanked me for my videos and said that my videos are helping him get through it. And I acknowledged him in the comments, and I want to acknowledge you right now. Keep fighting. Whatever you're kicking, I know it hurts. Physically hurts. Mentally, stay strong. Once you get through it, you're obviously kicking because you know there's something better than whatever that high was. I'm thinking of you. I'm proud of you. And just stay focused. Life will get better. Things will get better, but it's going to be a struggle. You know that. So with that, once again, everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. Don't forget to subscribe to Food and Fallons and check out all the videos that we did over there. I'm out.